good thing that we are pulling back a bit on the research, because, well, we're gonna have to make sure that we, actually have some money as well. Alright everyone, hello and welcome back to another episode of Rise of Industry with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to our little empire out here in Panowitz. We have very nicely actually grown and adapted to all the, required frequencies in terms of the products that we were already making in the last few episodes. But today then, it is probably time to turn our focus towards some new ideas, and well, we've also got a contract alongside here that we're working on. So looking at the toy store right here, we do have toy furniture, which was one of the things we had eyed a bit more in the last episode, and one of the things that we will probably want to take a little bit more care of soonish. We do have, very interestingly, 3 lumberyards going, which, I suppose supply all our toy factories that we have thus far. This one only having 2 harvesters thus far, so we'll probably expand on our capabilities there soon when we look more into the toy furniture. Now, we do not really have that much space to work in wood harvesting with at the moment. We have planted some saplings all around here to hopefully be able to expand on our capabilities soon, but for the time being we'll have to see how to do all that too. Now, in terms of research, I'm not quite sure where we stand. Do we actually need to research the toy furniture? Can we make it already? We need to research it. You can see right here, 400k, which will take a tad bit of time. So let me actually get time playing, because we do currently have our monthly R&D investment going in. We've got a PR and marketing event coming up. Permit to build in the region, Banzavile, 12 point... Sure. Yeah, we do not have that money. We didn't have it the last time this kind of thing came up, and we certainly don't have it now, so no thank you, not for the moment. But with that said then, so the toy furniture is one of our ideas right here. The other one would probably be looking for more markets to sell our products in. Now, the issue being here that, well, our competitor is actually somewhat catching up on this part right here. So I'm not too sure about this thing, and, well, R&D is done, so let's actually quickly pause time here and go for some more R&D. So, the thing is, we do not only want toy furniture. I think we also want Easter eggs in the near future, but Easter eggs will actually take quite a bit of work. You can see here that we need paint, for which we need water, for which we need chemicals, and we'll need plastics, for which we need oil, and which we need gas for. So the list there being quite big, and that is one of the more complex products that we'll probably take care of a tad bit later. But for the time being, I think let's start out with a toy furniture. We can probably honestly afford going for the 250k, get it done in 48 days. I'm pretty happy with that, unless our profit falls into the floor. And, well, then the other thing that I was saying that we want to look at is seeing if we can find ourselves some new sales markets. Now, the thing is that both my competitors, I think, actually have cow fields going here. So one out here that's already supplying the farmers market in Webham's probably quite well. Looking at this, I'm not sure that's the case. Can I see what he's transporting? I can. I mean, he's transporting things, but I'm not quite sure what he's doing with, like, the produce from the cow farm. Doesn't seem to be routing it out to sell anywhere currently. Not sure about that. And then we've got this guy down here, which also, of course, has cow fields and cow farms, and probably is supplying to here. But that's, yeah, this one's actually got some beef stored. This one here doesn't. So I'm not sure. Maybe we can get stuff supplied to Webham's, but my worry sort of being that we get a train line going to there to actually sell some products, and then, well, the guy actually starts supplying his products, and we get into all kind of entanglement with that and have some issues selling things out. So we could, of course, go like super far, but that would also mean quite the cost to set up the warehouse. Now, this here is also interesting. What is this? Oh, it's just like an alert that we've got so much water in there, is it? That should be fine. So, I don't know, I mean, with the amounts of farms that we have currently, we shouldn't really be in much of a predicament in terms of being able to sell these products out. So, for the time being, fine, I think once we do and research move towards here, though, and actually get more fields and, well, livestock fields and wheat fields underway in order to boost our output, that is definitely when we will need a train line. But in the meanwhile, I'm really not quite sure what I want to do, because without the research being in the state that we want it to be in, I'm not quite sure we really have any way of advancing this stuff much further, given that all the things that we can currently do, we're already supplying at pretty much the maximum available to us, right? Like, well, if we look at the farmers market out here, actually kind of surprised, because it doesn't really look as though we're supplying all that much, and this actually has an available capacity of 94. Permit for region man. Yeah, I mean, seriously, what? Apparently, they are actually willing to pay for that stuff and have the money to pay for that stuff, which is crazy. But what I'm kind of wondering about, well, I mean, it makes some sense, I suppose, that this is, well, that this is going this way in terms of storage. As long as we don't store more than is demanded, we should be fine, I suppose. So, I don't know. Like, hardware store, leather, I feel that we're still somewhat supplying this just fine, and I don't know. I don't really have any line and more stuff. The other question probably being, to be honest, if we can actually get more water through our, I guess we would need this, right, for the field and coastal harvesters. Like, all this expansion of production capacity would take quite a lot of research, and I'm kind of currently wondering if I want to go for that, or if I'd rather go a different route and explore new products, such as, for example, of course, Easter eggs. Because that would be a solid route to go down to, but it would require quite a bit of upfront research to actually get us there, before we can even get the first thing going, and then it would require quite the investment in terms of oil fields and gas fields and plastic manufacturing and paint manufacturing. We would even need dye, for which we would need another factor. So, like, the production chain is very complex there, which would mean that we would need a lot of industries going to actually get that underway. I'm not really sure where to go with this, because, you know, the other issue being that there's really not too many things in requirement at the moment. Do we need something like stuffing? We would need something like stuffing, so maybe that's a good idea. Like, as much as I want to go for Easter eggs, and I want to use my gas and my oil and everything, I feel that currently exploiting the oil and gas fields would cost me so much, especially with all the factories in between, till we finally get to Easter eggs, that maybe we're better off going for some of the more simple products for the time being. Now, we do have the toy furniture just researched. Maybe we go for stuffing, and we just get some cotton going. The question would be, how much more water can we realistically supply to this whole endeavor? But, you know, if we were to get a few cotton fields going and get some stuffing underway for, well, sales in the toy store, which I'm sure we could use for teddy bears later, that would maybe be a good idea. Teddy bears, what do we need? We'd need garment. For garment, I guess we would need stuff like sheep? Or could we make it from cotton too? How does it work in this game? What sort of kind of garment, and where in the world would I find it? Textile. No. It's fibers. Okay. There's fibers and fabric. Where's garment? Livestock? Or mutton and wool. Well, I guess from wool you would make the garment, but where would I then make the garments? Hello? Oh, there are so many things to this equation. Sometimes it's just hard to actually pick up on the things that you need and want. I feel currently kind of unable to actually find the garment point. Yeah. Also, something that I really want to make eventually, something like this. That would be sick. Producing cars, but that's like insane. Like, if we were afraid about the complexity of Easter eggs, you know, that's certainly going to be a bit more mad. But I don't know. Did you all see the garment anywhere? Or am I blind? Or do we not need to research it? I'm really slightly unsure. I would guess that you need to kind of be able to find all these things in the research tree somewhere. But of course it's not in toys. It should be in textiles or something, I would say. But, well, you know, that's all more dependent on the cows and all. Well, clothes and stuff not being anything that is even required. Yeah, paper mill is of course not it. Liquor is of course not it. Maybe it's a different kind of livestock, but I wouldn't know which one, because honestly, I'm pretty sure you don't get garment out of having chicken. So maybe wool is the same thing as livestock, and they just don't tell you. But like, wool's the same thing as garment. But I mean, you know, in theory, knowing it from the real world, you would probably need to work on it in the factory to actually make garment out of the wool. So I don't know. Really not sure, but there doesn't seem to be a way to tell right now. But, you know, that may be something for the future. Before we keep fantasizing on about these things, let's just select something for research to kind of make our way towards. I think we're going to go back down to the 100k R&D investment. Actually, no, wait, the toy furniture is not done. That's an old gameplay alert. Okay, so we will finish the toy furniture, then we will take care of the toy furniture setup, and kind of just lower the investment for the time being, so we actually get some more money into our registers, especially with the investment needed for the toy furniture production. And then once that is out of the way, we will probably maybe look at exploiting some gas fields. Like, I'm kind of utterly worried about the profitability of the gas and the oil and everything, because, well, of course it's kind of just first tier products, and first tier products, as we somewhat learned, aren't really something that is supposed to be very profitable. The thing that is supposed to be profitable is actually you working with the goods and making things out of them. So, something to consider. Like, I would really like some detailed financial overview in this game, I have to say. But I'm not too sure about it. Like, I would really like to see, okay, I've got this production with this sort of good, and, well, I've got these sorts of costs for it, I've got these sorts of income from that product. See, we've got products right here. If I go to farm produce, and I go to, no, not grapes, but if I go to berries, that's how many you've got consumed, demand, produced, blah, 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 and our total sales. Now, how do I find out what my costs related to these sales were? Because that's, of course, the interesting question, you know? If we can find out the profitability of a first-tier product, like the berries, for example, right here, we could determine if the gas production would be profitable on our minds or not. But it's like, there's no way to split that up. That's what I'm kind of missing, you know, to actually take a bit of a deep dive on the financials that you currently have and analyze what works for you and what doesn't. Because right now I feel like I'm just chucking things out there and hoping that it works, which is somewhat fine in some of these cases where, you know, I've just got my advanced production and I know that it should in theory work and my profitability goes up. But stuff like this first year production I'm really not sure about. So, yeah, I don't know. Kind of slightly questioning that. That said, toy furniture is complete then, so let's just agree on something. Whatever that something shall be, this beef stew thing is kind of interesting. You know, the milk and the water, I think we may actually get some more of this advanced stuff. Because, I mean, we do have the cows already, right? So we may as well make more advanced products from that cow farm, like cheese, in order to make more profit out of it. And we've got water. got a decent surplus, I would say. So I think that is going to be a good idea. That said, the total cost of that thing is going to be 1.8 million, and if you go back down to 100k investment, it's going to take us 540 days, which is pretty insane to say the least. So maybe not quite what we want to focus on. Very smoothly, nobody wants to buy, so well, we've got to research, but that's about it, unfortunately. I don't quite know. Like, the thing is, I would like to, from what I'm currently making, find ways to make a bit more money, instead of going down a totally new and different branch, if that makes any sense whatsoever. What I'm thinking is, given that I've got the gas fields, and given that I've got the oil fields, maybe there's something a little more easy that we can start making in the first place that is still being required on the market that we can focus on. Well, petrochemical, I guess, would be the way to go. We've got plastic, we've got refined oil, we've got chemicals, paint adhesive, buttons, plastic cutlery. I don't think I've seen any of those anywhere. Like, look at this. This is everything they demand, just bare bones gas. And, well, I don't know if that's really that profitable, to be honest. We've got the toy store, which of course wants the Easter eggs, but that's going to be super complicated to make. And then we've got the farmer's market, which isn't really requiring anything all too advanced either. Like, the thing is, we won't do cheese for the time being, because there's no cheese like required out there. So it doesn't really make sense to research that. I think we will just slowly move towards, well, firstly the teddy bears, and then the Easter eggs, because that's the only things we have for the time being. But I really hope that there's going to be some other demands developing soon that give us a few more choices as to where we want to branch out to. So hopefully some more stores or something developing right there. But with that said, let's go for the stuffing for this time being. Actually, do I have cotton farms even? Wheat, potato, olives, olive oil, cooked vegetables. Should it not be on the produce? I mean, sure, but where's the cotton at? Here. Okay, so we're going to start with cotton fields. Let's get the cotton fields, and then we will do the stuffing, and then we'll go from there. Cool. That was a lot more complicated than I thought it was, and we used a lot more time on it than I thought we would. Contract auction, deliver beef to Thornstetten. I just actually noticed that our other contract is up, and I haven't chosen a new delivery location, so we would have to fix that. Now, the beef to Thornstetten we will happily take care of for 250%, but I think we're all pretty sure that that will change very soon. Let's go, though, for the leather. Actually choose a new destination. Which one was the leather? Was it Kochsfeld that I usually know? The leather actually usually went out to the hardware store in here. So we are going to go livestock, we're going to go leather, and we're going to go choose the hardware store, and we're going to send it all. Cool. That's fixed. Now, while that auction is running, we will also look at making a bit of toy furniture. Now, first things first, maybe let's quickly check what we require before I'm missing out on anything, but I think it should be pretty simple and straightforward, just wood. Indeed it is, so that feels doable. In terms of the storage that we have here in the backlog, we're at 14, which is not the greatest amount in the world. What we can probably do here is add another harvester, which we just place somewhere off down here-ish, like that, and then hopefully that's going to work for us. I'm going to go and add a dirt road to the mix right here. And then that should be making a tad bit more wood for us. Not enough, but a tad bit more. Then, what else? Wait, where's Thornstetten even at? Uh-oh. Please tell me Thornstetten is like... Oh, it's down there. It's far, but it's like accessible for us. I'm pretty sure it's fine. We will need, for this whole toy production thing, and who would have thought that was going to happen, we will need another wood harvesting spot lumberyard thingy, which we will put out here, maybe? Like, if we put this thing here, we put a harvester... I don't think the harvester setup down here is going to work, because there's harvesters all around already, and I'm kind of worried about the harvester just taking all the stuff from the other harvesters. We did win the contract, so let's quickly take care of that. This here. We please go all the way down to Thornstetten, and yeah. Then you guys get to work on actually delivering the stuff for our contract. Thank you very much. Now, gameplay alerts. Yeah, that's all cool. Construction alert, no harvesters, which we're going to take care of momentarily. Let's take care of that basically just now. So we're going to spread the harvesters around the spot a bit here. We've got a good bunch of trees out here that we can use, and a good bunch of trees out there. And then we will have to kind of see about, like, you know, actually laying out the road properly, but this here should hopefully somewhat still work for us too. Then we're going to go and attach that all to the road network, of course, which we're going to do that one like that. And why did that just turn into a dirt road? I just wanted to connect it, not replace the other one. We're going to move that one up here. I just did that like 3 times in a row down here, so, well, once. I just did that once down there, and it worked totally fine without replacing my road, so not quite sure what the reasoning behind that is, but let's fix that, because we do not want dirt roads out here. And then that is another lumberyard up and running, so given that we already had a tad bit of surplus from the other lumberyards before doing anything, then we added the one harvester on top, and then we added the full thing. We should be able to get like 1 or 2 factories going with that. How much do we usually use here? Not quite sure, but I'm pretty confident that we'll need just another toy factory, basically, which shouldn't be the hardest task in the world. I mean, we've got this nice grouping right here, and we do have the air purifier down there, so I would like to continue planting my factories down there. Now, this thing does cost 600k, so good thing that we are pulling back a bit on the research, because, well, we're going to have to make sure that we, you know, actually have some money as well. But with this new toy factory out here, we're going to make toy furniture with it. We're going to need... That actually is pretty good. That's actually pretty darn good. It's better than the wooden trains in terms of profitability, is it? Well, the wooden trains give us a tad bit more money, but given that, like, 1 unit of wood gets us 2 units of toy furniture, while here 2 units of wood get us to... That's actually pretty good in terms of profitability. And we need 1 unit of wood every 15 days, but these things are making, like, 6 every 30, so 3 every 15, so we can, with this setup, supply 4 toy factories that make us toy furniture, which should fully fill the demand. Okay, that's nice. So we don't need more lumberyards after this. That's great news. We only need more toy factories, which we don't really have the money for. You know, 1.4 million, I do want to keep a tad bit of a buffer, so we're going to keep it there for the time being. But I think every time we hit 2 mil, we can just get another toy factory plunked down right there. And, well, just get it to 4. And then get all that stuff sold out. And we should hopefully be making even more money than we were before. So, very happy with the toy furniture choice. That's certainly a great way to go down. But we'll have to set up the connections here most likely. Yeah, you can see. So, well, first things first, we'll send this out to the warehouse, of course. Then we will go and set a destination again with the wood to our toy factory 5, and we will send the max, set the max sent to 8, and we'll set the min kept to 4, and then that should all nicely get underway too. You can already see the first truck here going with 2 units of wood to supply that factory, and we've got more coming right here, so that is absolutely beautiful, and hopefully that's going to work for us nicely. I'm really looking forward to this, because the profitability on that is honestly pretty decent for where we currently are at. And, well, the more money we make, the better for us, because we really need some research money in order to catch up with these guys, because look at this stuff. I mean, they're going quite hard. Also have no air purifiers over here, just messing up the environment with their coal mine. Like the meanie, messy people they are. We need to stop them, because we're the better corporation, blah, blah, etc., etc. Company company better than other company, blah. You know how it goes in the real world. But yeah, cash flow losing. I mean, yeah, fair. We're spending a lot of money on expanding. I cannot believe the valuation of these other companies is growing so much faster than mine, to be honest. It's quite insane. So we must be doing something utterly wrong. So, I don't know. If you have any improvement, recommendations, please let me know down below in the comments. But for today, we're going to end it off right here. Next episode, we're going to get back to the toy factory thing. We're going to expand this to 4 toy factories. And, well, then we are, well, going to research along nicely. We're going to go and maybe get some gas, you know? Would be maybe cool to get some gas fields. So, that could be on the list, among a few other things. But for today, this has been it, so I hope you all very much enjoyed the episode. As usual, if you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. It does always help out the channel a ton. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way, as usual, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next episode very, very soon. Ciao.